Why you have like Horus on the picture with Jesus with the sun behind his head, that goes back to the sun god. Or you have Mary holding baby Jesus, that goes back to Isis, the worship of the Queen of Heaven. So our people that have been worshiping these idols, and they just revamped it into Christianity. That's why Christianity is wicked. What did the Lord tell that woman when she tried to big up Mary? You know?
Yeah, she said, blessed are the paps that gave you suck, and he said, no, blessed is they to do the will.
Right, so the Father is not about woman worship. So we don't worship Mary up here, man. And we're not into Catholicism.
Nope.
In Catholicism, they worship idols. They bow down to statues. The Lord told us not to do that. We worship the Lord in spirit and in truth.
Keep going. Verse 2, it says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent.
Romans. The pagan Roman Empire is that dragon, you know, and that dragon is back. The deadly wound of that dragon is here today. You see, this is the work of the dragon. All right, this is what you have now, man. Okay.
Well, he keep going, bro. Let's go.
And it says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
So he evolved. He evolved from a little serpent, all right, to a goddamn 7-headed dragon, man. And this is the empire that's ruling the earth right now. And you have the America, the whore, riding upon that beast.
Yep, that beast-like system, living off that same. Because you got to understand, when Esau came over to the Americas, which, well, if you keep reading, we'll go into it.
All right.
Verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit.
Yeah, what you know is Europe, right?
And shut him up and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled.
Yeah, that actually was roughly about 1,000 years.
Yeah, from 325 AD to about 1325 AD, you had the bubonic plague or the Black Death come upon the scene and wiped out 2/3 of our people, which is very spiritual. You know, and then since then, you had Esau get into power. You can watch the show The Bourgeois Family on Netflix. It shows you how they got into power, because during that time, the power was in the church. You see, if you were a bishop, if you were a pope, you have power. This is why when Esau got into power, he wants to separate what? State and the church.
Yep.
A new world order. You see? So they had to get in power through the church, and this is why he painted Caesar Borgia, his son, as the son of God, because that's where the power lied through the so-called religion. That's how he won the people over, because Jake has a zeal, but not according to knowledge.
Right. And that's why it says in Revelations, the false prophet and the unclean spirit as a frog, because that same power structure back then, through what you know, the Pope and the church, that still power is still being used today.
Catholicism is completely wicked, man. They wear that hat, which goes back to the worship of the fish god Dagon.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Which Dagon, the priest or the gatekeeper, is what the Pope is today. We had that one Christian book. Pretty much they said what the priest for Dagon did is what the Pope does today. You know, the same worshiping, if you will.
And it makes sense, because Jake was heavy into Egypt. Hell, you had Judas Tiberius Alexander, who was one of the Roman generals, who was an Israelite. All right, along with him, he had the black woman or an Israelite woman with him. They helped overthrow Jerusalem at 70 AD. Okay, that was a very heavy time frame.
Which was prophecy.
Yep.
But what the Spirit is bringing out is not only the atrocities that Esau has done, but Jake's that have partook with him. You know, and adding on, but off, you know, this historic event. Just like now, you got Eve and Jake sticking everybody with the flesh wound, man, and the Spanish woman too. Just out there hitting everybody with Esau's mechanical rod, man.
Just recently, they had Sierra come to the White House with her children.
I saw that.
Pretty much promote you to bring your children to go and get that flesh wound.
Yep.
Sacrifice.
Yep. Which they're going to get theirs, man. Let's keep going.
And it says, and after that, he must be loose a little season.
Right. And then ultimately his loosing, all right, when he got the funding, was the 1492, which that was through Spain.
Queen Ferdinand and Isabella.
Because you got to understand, Spain had a major part. The Spanish Edomites, if you will, had a major part to play. Okay, with America's conception. All right, because it came down to South America But remember, the Spanish went as far as to damn near California. Okay, the Spanish, they were all up in here too in 1492. So Esau came over. Let's get Jeremiah 50 and 33, because what we're going to show you, all right, in the spirit is Judah and Israel were oppressed together, man.
Right.
The northern and southern kingdom caught a lot of hell. And if you didn't know, you know that Gad waged war with Esau longer than Judah was in captivity. Okay. Was that it on it? Okay. Let's read this real quick.
This is Jeremiah 50.
We're going to break it down. We're going to break it. Remember what it say? Line by line. Here a little, there a little. We're going to, through the Spirit, bring out some historical information on this prophecy.
This is Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus said Yahweh by Shem Yahushua of hosts, the children of Israel.
The children of Israel being who? The northern kingdom. All right. So-called Spanish, Mexican, Ecuador, Argentina, Puerto Rican, Cuban, okay? Who am I forgetting? North American, Ephraim, Seminole, all right? Because remember, going back to the Maccabees, Esdras, remember, they escaped captivity of the Assyrians, and they thought themselves, all right, to go to a land where no man dwelt, all right?
No, that was before the Babylonians took us down.
Exactly.
That was before the Greeks came and defiled our temple.
Exactly.
That was before the Romans destroyed the temple.
Exactly. All right. So let's read that really fast.
Esdras.
Yep. 13 and 40, is it?
Second Esdras 13 and verse 40. These are those 10 tribes.
All right. What you can precept, if I'm not mistaken, it's 1st or 2nd Kings 17. Okay.
It
Right.
says,
Hold that, Brother Kishore.
Second Esdras 13 and 40.
Yep.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king.
Now hold that and let's read it.
I'm going to start at 18.
Okay.
The whole chapter is fire, but
Yep.
this is 2 Kings 17 and 18. It says, Israel is rejected by the Lord.
For their wickedness.
Therefore the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Now they were rejected, but they weren't forsaken. Okay, this is why we needed a savior. And this is why when the savior got on the scene, he said, I have sheep that are not of this fold. Yahushua knew about his northern brothers all the way over here in the Western Hemisphere, man. Okay?
Therefore Yahweh Shem Yahushua was angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. And Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their power.
Judah meaning Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Remember, Judah's the head tribe, just like Ephraim's the head in the north. That's why Ephraim could represent the north, and Judah represents the southern, which ultimately we're supposed to be a united kingdom, which, fun fact, the Anglo-Saxons made it a united, the reason why you have the UK today,
King Alfred.
they united the kingdoms.
Yep. Because another reason why the Vikings was able to come in and fuck them up like that, because they were divided. What did Yahushua say? A kingdom divided shall not stand.
Nope.
So the Lord put a heavy spirit on King Alfred to want to unite the kingdom. That's why you have the UK today.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, fun fact of our history. Well, let's keep going.
It says, and Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their power, but walked in the statutes of Israel.
Yeah, the creature subject to vanity, you know.
Which they made. And Yahweh by Shem Yahushua rejected all the seed of Israel and afflicted them and delivered them into the hand of the spoilers until he had cast them out of his sight.
But remember, just like it says in Jeremiah, I think 3, just as an adulterous woman, but the Lord took us back. Okay, we're just going into history right now of why we are scattered, but we are in that land that we are scattered to, now being brought back by the blood of Yahushua.
That's why I love the book of Baruch, because it tells you that it was not for our destruction.
Right.
All right. Exactly what it's talking about here, it explains it in Baruch.
Right.
You know?
Right. Which that was in the Babylonian captivity, because he was the understudy, if you will, of Jeremiah.
Yep.
You know?
They were like a cat.
That's right.
It says, and for he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king, and Jeroboam drave Israel from following the Lord and made them sin a great sin.
A wicked shepherd. And he made them sin a great sin of idolatry, wickedness, you know. A lot of nasty things, a lot of naughtiness. That's why you got naughty figs out here. Okay, keep going.
It says, for the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did, they departed not from them.
And this is your history, brothers and sisters. This is our history we're reading, man. Okay? This is our history that now has unraveled to a harmonious example of prophecy. Okay? Because we're tapping in to a time of history that, you look on and say, damn, but we're in the period past that now where we're under grace. So we can talk and learn about these things and see, the wickedness of our fathers that now we can repent from. That's why it says, if you repent for what ye have done in your fathers, then I'll remember you. Keep going.
I'm gonna jump up to verse 16. It says, and they left all the commandments of the Lord their God and made them images, molten images, and even 2 calves, and made a grove and worshiped all the hosts of heaven and served Baal.
Yeah, they made calves because under the Egyptian rulership, they got what? Tainted. Okay? This is why the Lord said, when I send you into the land, do not after the heathen. See? So certain spirits jumped on our people in these captivities that led them to a further judgment, man. Because the Lord may have delivered us out of that captivity, but then there was wickedness found from that, This is why right now we're not just being pulled out of America. Imagine you just pulling Soldier Boy out of America. He's just gonna go and fucking do the nay-nay in Jerusalem. So then we gotta stone him again, and then you're gonna get the purge out. See why you gotta purge out the rebels? See why now it's all spiritual? Because Jake needs to be cleansed before they can be delivered. What's the point of me like Esau? He'll give you liposuction, but ain't gonna stop your ass with the eating, demon.
Well, the nigga will put a band-aid on your cut off leg.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're not helping. There's no physical therapy.
He's of no value.
So what we're going through is spiritual therapy, brothers and sisters. We're going through therapy right now. You're being molded. You're putting away the old man, so when the time of deliverance, you can be found accepted.
True healing.
True healing. Man, that's beautiful. That's why you got to accept captivity, because now we're learning why we're in it. Time and time again, I believe in Judges or Nehemiah, he just goes to back, boom, locked up, freed, locked up, parole, free. You know what I mean? That's that's their legacy, if you will, as a nation. Keep going.
2 Kings 17 and 23. And another thing Jeroboam did was he kicked the Levites out, right?
Yeah.
Because the tribe of Levi, they lived in the suburbs amongst all the tribes. So what he did was he kicked them out because he feared that the people was going to cleave unto Levi and go back to Jerusalem. See, that's why you have the chart with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, because Benjamin stayed with Judah. You see?
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of people don't know, which is a trick question. Ask, why do you have Levi with the southern kingdom? See, you gotta know the history. You gotta know the account.
Well, his name is Obino. It means joined to me. Joined to who? The head tribe, Judah.
Yep.
You see?
Yep.
It says, unto the Lord remove Israel out of his sight, as he has said by all his servants, the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land unto Assyria unto this day.
Yep. They were carried into Assyria. Keep going.
Verse 24.
And that's also why the Lord told a Sumerian woman to get her husband.
I helped you guys before. I don't have it.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
I only have 45 milk.
No, it's fine. Hey, it'll be okay soon. It'll be okay soon. Man, that's messed up. Said she don't have enough money to buy milk. Look what America does to its people.
Inflation, bro. And do you know on January 1st, the inflation is supposed to go even higher?
Good. Yep. Good. Hey, and real quick, because we're getting into this. Hey, brothers, man. Hey, don't stress that shit, man. Give him his money. When you play Monopoly, do y'all be tripping about buying shit? Give his ass his money. Right now is a time to be wise and utilize money as a defense. Use the world, don't abuse it. If you can find yourself to get a little part-time job just to keep income, do that, man. Because see, we're just doing what we need to do until we ain't got to do it no more. We're not out here stressing because they ain't got no more eggs and shit. We gotta pay bills still. You gotta pay your phone bill still. You gotta pay this still. So hey, use wisdom, all right, in this time of prophetic events, because it's about to go, you know. But just use wisdom with discretion, you know. You got it, brother. Just wanted to say that in the spirit.
2 Kings 17 and 24, and the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Cutha and from Ava and from Hamath and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel.
So just like Esau did at King Antiochus, he brought lewd men into Jerusalem. So just like this wicked ass Assyrian, he brought heathens into our actual homeland. You know, it's gonna go into where they thought to leave. Okay.
It says, and they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof.
And this is what, watch. This is gonna prove why the Syrian woman said that she worshiped Jacob and all that. Watch, it's gonna show you.
And you know what else this proves? How Esau was just able to walk in and say, oh, he's the Vikings, he's the Saxons. But they took us, we died.
Yep.
So what do you think happened to the cities? Were they burned down? No, it's not prophecy. They just walked in and repopulated it, man.
Yep.
And repainted over the images.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. That's why they call it New York. I'm surprised they don't call it New Jerusalem.
Right. It says, and so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not the Lord.
Yep.
Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria.
So the Lord judged these heathens for trying to so-called be us. So he sent lions on them, man, because they were trying to portray themselves as us. This is why there's a known fact in the land of Israel. There's like a religion. There's like some kind of. There's like a episode that happens to people when they come to Israel. They bug out. King, he's talking to me. They be bugging out, man.
That's a holy land.
It's a holy land. So the people, they get attacked spiritually. Oh, look at that. 444. Lord's will. You know?
Ultimately, they was into their idolatry.
Yeah.
And what did the Lord do to Ham? Canaan. He fucked them up because of their idolatry.
Yeah.
You know, the Lord don't play about that land.
Mm-hmm.
You know? 1 Kings 17 and 26. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the power of the land. Therefore he has sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the power of the land.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 27. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom he brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the power of the land. So they had to be taught by actual priests.
And this is why the woman at the well told Yahushua that she knew worship Jacob. And that's why he told her she knows not what she worship. You don't know what you worship. You were put in that land. Your fathers was taught about us, but that don't make you us. Just like in the kingdom. You're going to know the Sabbath. You're going to know the laws. That don't make you an Israelite. You know?
None of the stock.
Just like Jake, he knows all. You be seeing Jakes get locked up. They learn all the law library. That don't make them an American. You know?
Verse 28. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel and taught them how they should fear Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yeah, the Lord always used priests. He used priests to and sent them to Ptolemy Philadelphus to break down the scriptures, and that's what you have the Septuagint today, because it was the priests. So the priests were always used as a mediator when it came to the ways of the Lord, you know. But now what? We're priests under the priesthood of Melchizedek because he Yahushua. So we're teachers now of the law, if you will, too.
Yeah, now we are priests. Another thing Jeroboam did is he took different tribes like Gad and made Gad the priest.
Yep.
You know, but now, hey, we are the priests now.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, let's get to where they sought to go to the other land, the northern kingdom. No, I want the one in Hosea where they where it said that they can you go up to the other chapter where it's their idol worship and all that? Where is it? Well, yeah, read that. Yeah, read this.
2nd Esdras 13, start from the top again. Verse 40 says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of, out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves that they will leave the multitude of the heathen.
Right. So the brother was reading, and this was pretty much explaining. No, we got it. So because they go together. So sometimes I was thinking about this account in that chapter, but this is the chapter of what they were going through, and this is why they said, look, we need to get out of here. So basically you were reading how these are the northern kingdom was suffering under these heathens. Then you had heathens in their land learning their ways and teaching. So they thought to themselves, all right, well, let's flee this land and go somewhere else. So read that again.
2nd Edge 13 and verse 40. And it says, when Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. And they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
Right. So basically, they came up with an escape plan. You know, they escaped slavery. They were under bondage, and they came up with an idea to get out of it. Keep going.
And it says, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would lead the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Right, where never mankind dwelt. Azareth. All right, Azareth.
Which I'm gonna get the Jewish.
So, and why did they know no man dwelt? Because under the rulership of King Solomon, he had an agreement with a Hamite naval fleet under the order of Hiram, right? And Hiram would come to the Americas and get them peacocks, gorillas, or apes, and then this is why you have Omeleks today, okay? So they knew about another land, all right? And the Northern Kingdom took that trip, and they will keep reading.
Verse 42.
See, this is the real history. If you want to know why your school system only speaks about who you know as black people from 1619, because they're only speaking about your American history. You see, when you want to look at Native Americans, they don't speak past America. They don't. When it comes to you Judites, they don't speak past America because they're only giving you African American history. So where were we before 1619? Where were we before 1492? See, through the spirit, Esau can't have history no more.
I remember I went to African American history in college, right? My professor, he was mad cool. His name was Skywalker. I think his name was like Levi, something like that. Levi Skywalker. That was my man. He told me the reason why, because this was before I knew the truth, he told me the reason why the English, why they went to Africa, right? I thought I was African. You know? He told me the reason why they went there because Mansa Musa was so rich and his wealth attracted the colonizers. That's bullshit, man. Fucking bullshit, man. You know, so they don't teach you, you don't learn nothing in college, man. This is where you learn your true history at.
Right.
You know?
Right. So let's keep going.
Verse 42, and it says...
1492. Keep going.
It says that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
So they were in the spirit of, hey, we need to live by our laws and our customs. All right, this is why in America you have the Chief Joseph Tablet Stone, which is an Assyrian tablet found in New Mexico, man. Or this is why you got the Los Lunas stone found out here with Paleo-Hebrew. Because the Northern Kingdom came here. Can you see that, Bubba Kishore? The last one for Dash? I'm getting old, brother. I can't move as fast. This is why you had this written. Look it up, man. Look up the Los Lunas stone. You look it up. This is your history. Don't look up fucking LeBron James shooting percentage. Look up your history, man. You know, so let's keep going.
And it said, verse 43, and they enter into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
The narrow passage. When you look back at history, you couldn't just walk out to a beach and sail off. You'd have to go through a river, through a harbor, you know, through a docking system, because your ship being so big, it can't reach shallow ground. So you have to have your ship somewhere where the water is deep. So they went through deep waters, all right, created boats, if you will, and constructed them to set sail, right? So read that again.
It says,
Shit, my man Floki was a boat maker, you know, which he is said that came to the Americas. The Vikings came here, all right?
Well,
Benjamin, the Vikings.
Well, that's our history, man. We are hard men, warriors. Look at David in the forest, in the caves. You gotta be hard to do that shit. This man came to a boat. He came to America on a boat by himself. You know how scary it is to be in the goddamn ocean?
Yeah, that's Jonah.
You know?
Jonah was out there, you know?
Some hard shit.
Well, when Yahushua met Peter, they were fishing.
That's not no, I'm a fisherman. No, that's hard man work.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And that's our history.
That's right.
You know, so these men were great navigators, sailors.
Yep.
They had Issachar with them.
Exactly.
Who has knowledge of what?
Signs.
The signs of the heavens.
Yep.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
back in 2nd Esdras 13 and verse 43.
Oh, Salaki, this is why when you go to the gym, you have what? The back row.
Mm-hmm.
You see? That's what they were doing when they were working. That's a workout.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
2nd Esdras 13 and verse 43. And they enter into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
Yep.
For the Most High then show signs for them and help still the flood.
Right, because the floods, meaning what? The season, which they call hurricane season, is based out in the South Atlantic Ocean, which is right past the Horn of Africa. So when they came through the Euphrates, they had to come down, okay? And they went around the Horn of Africa, which landed them over to what? South America, all right? Where no mankind dwelt. Because you got to think, when Hiram was sailing, it took him what? 3 years.
Yep, 1.5 to go, 1.5 to get back.
So it took 1.5 to get there. All right. So when Ham was sailing, when King Solomon was ruling in Israel, did the Hamites go north where Russia is? No, they went south where Africa is, but the waters, and they went around the land of Africa and kept going and got to the Western Hemisphere. Okay. This is history. So the Northern Kingdom did that as well, but they did it way back during the Assyrians. All right, now you had speckles of the Northern around because there were some mentioned in Acts, sister.
Not all of them went.
No.
Just like they didn't get all the Levites.
Exactly.
You see?
Exactly.
There's always that remnant. I believe Simeon in the book of Luke that wanted to see the Lord before he died. It's from Simeon.
Right. See? So let's keep going.
Verse 44. It says, for the Most High then showed signs for them and have stilled the flood.
Well, the Most High showed signs for Columbus to get over here. St. Elmo's fire. Okay? So they all were getting signs. Keep going.
And it says, till they were
speaking of Columbus, Europe's up here. So he went like this. Because Columbus didn't come to North America. He was south with the Spaniards.
And Columbus knew that, who was over here.
That's why he brought a Hebrew interpreter, Joseph Bonlevi. And Joseph Bonlevi stayed with his counterparts when they got here. All right, so keep going.
And it says,
Esau don't own history no more, man. Okay?
It ain't his story.
This is
our story.
Right. This is why he's trying to control the narratives of the future, because he can't control the narrative of the past no more. You can't talk to us about history. You can't talk about American history without mentioning the Israelites. You can't talk about Greek history without mentioning the Israelites. You can't talk about Roman history without mentioning the Israelites, the children of God. You see? So through all his legacies, there's always shameful spewing to add on top. All right? Which you're proud as.
He's a vessel unto dishonor.
Exactly.
Just like Yahushua conquered Rome, it's the same way he's going to conquer America, but worse.
Keep going.
Verse 45, and it says, for through that country, there was a great way to go, namely of 1.5 years.
See? Because going back with Solomon, it was 1.5 years for him to get there, then 1.5 years to get back. So 3 years. And King Solomon was such a righteous ruler that those Hamites, they could have stayed, but they came back. They went on a journey that was so long it equated 3 years, but they came back with it. You see? Keep going.
And it says,
so it took them 1.5 years, right? 1.5 years to get from Samaria, right, through the river, around the Horn, And then the land right here, South America, and that's why you have, you call them Taino Indians.
Right, the Middle East was very connected, man. You know, back then. It's still in unto this day. It's not going to take you a year and a half to get from goddamn Assyria to Egypt.
Right to Africa.
Or in Africa. Nah.
You hear them say that? They try to say Gad is in Africa.
South Africa.
But they got spears. Grow up. As Elder Aurealis says, grow up, man. All right, we're only here for the sincere sheep that really want to be edified with their history. And we're talking about prophecy. This is prophecy, man. Ezra said this in prophecy. Ezra wasn't with him, you know.
It was revealed unto him.
Exactly.
You know.
Yep. Keep going.
And it says,
and now it's been revealed unto us. So you as an Israelite, you should know the breakdown when it comes to your northern brothers, man. Because you still got wicked ass Jakes that are in that spirit. Oh, behold, the dreamer. Yep. If y'all know what I mean. Right. You know? That's what I felt about Joseph. Yep.
This is
it's going to go into it. That word? Yeah, watch.
In verse 45, and it says, in this same region is called Azareth.
There you go. You want to break it down, brother? What's Azareth?
This is the Jewish encyclopedia. The name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of the restoration.
And that we're in the restoration, okay? We're in the time of restoration, man. You see?
It says Columbus identified America with this land.
Boom, right there. So the Northern Kingdom came to what you know as the Americas, okay? So they came to what? South America, and then they migrated up, okay? Because going back now we can, was it on that, brother?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, was that it on it?
Oh, yeah,
that was it. Yeah, Ezra. So now we just proved in prophecy. So now we're all the way in America. So let's get Jeremiah 49:1. What shall befall you in the last days? We're in the last days.
Genesis.
What'd I say? Jeremiah? I'm sorry. Genesis 49:1. Right? So now you know that the Northern Kingdom came to the Americas, but guess what? The Northern Kingdom went through all this land. You had some that stayed down here, some that went more in the middle, and some that went more northern. Gad and the Seminole Indians and Issachar went more northern. Manasseh kind of settled down where you know as Cuba. Naphtali was more southern. Who else was more? Zebulun, the water. Zebulun and Asher, Brazil, they all kind of stayed down in South America, but other tribes, like I said, Ephraim, Issachar, Gad, Reuben, okay, Manasseh, they went more north, okay? They went up northern, you see?
Began to expand, you know, because they were procreating, Ephraim fruitful.
Nomadic.
Yep.
They were nomadic people, and they knew the land Sabbath. Yep. So if we're going to let this land rest, we're going to go over here. Okay, so let's read real quick Jeremiah 49, Genesis 49:1, and then we'll jump back to Jeremiah 50. And now we can kind of go